Hey folks, welcome to another Passion for Sound audio review, or audio reviews as the case may be, because I'm going to repeat this same intro across a number of videos. I apologise for the repetition, but with the new baby on board, I'm just trying to be as efficient as possible so I can keep getting content out to you as quickly as I can. So coming up in this next batch of reviews, I've got the Audio-Technica ATH-M50x that you can see here. I've also got the Bose Quiet Comfort QC35 Mark II, and a quick mini review for an upgrade cable, in my case for the Metzer Empyreans, but a cable that can be made for any headphones that I really want to talk about because the quality of it is quite astounding for the price. Before I get into the reviews though, I just want to remind everybody of a couple of things. First of all, the Moondrop Starfield giveaway was never claimed by the original winner, so I've redrawn it, and the lucky winner now is Hearing Sinus. So Hearing Sinus, if you're watching this, please comment below so I can let you know how to claim your prize, and that's for the Moondrop Starfield IEM, so congratulations to you. For those of you who missed out on the Moondrop Starfields, the good news is that as of these videos begins the giveaway for the Topping E30 DAC that I reviewed recently. So all you have to do is, in any of these three videos with this introduction, just subscribe and comment on the video. Tell me something about the product I'm reviewing, tell me something about a product you'd like to see reviewed, and that will put you into the draw for the Topping E30 DAC. Of course, if you want more entries, all patrons get bonus entries to all of the giveaways. Whether you comment or not on the videos, you're in the draws. So do jump through to the Patreon link if that's of interest to you, and take a look at the tiers and how you can win more gear that way. For now though, let's get into the reviews. So for most people, when we start out into the world of audiophile headphones, we have to start with a more budget headphone. Most of us can't launch into that $1,000+ range, and so we start with something that's budget, but is still hopefully going to be a great headphone. Now, when I first started out, I was looking at three headphones. I was looking at the Ultrasone HFI series, I looked at the Audio-Technica ATH-M50, not the M50x, and I'll explain the difference shortly, and I also considered the Shure SRH 540s. Now in the end, I chose the Ultrasones because I really liked the technology that they had. I still enjoyed that headphone. I've since purchased the Ultrasone Edition 8s because I do enjoy the Ultrasone presentation. But having said that, in many ways, the headphone I probably should have bought was the ATH-M50. And I wanted to talk a bit about that because I think it's still to this day one of the best starting audiophile headphones that money can buy. Now the M50X retails for about $150 on Amazon. It's a very well priced headphone, and it's got a bit of a legendary status because it has been known to be used by producers in mastering studios recording albums. For example, the Foo Fighters apparently used the ATH-M50 to record and master one of their albums. I don't know which album it was, but I do believe it has been used across many studios for many producers. That doesn't mean it's a perfect audiophile headphone, but it does tell you that something's going right when people that are using headphones to record their music and master their music, they're listening to these and having them on their head for many, many, many hours at a time. It tells you a couple of things. Firstly, that it's got to be comfortable, and secondly, that it's got to sound pretty good. It doesn't mean, as I said, it's the most resolving, transparent, or even neutral headphone in the world. It does, though, mean that it's going to sound good and feel good for long extended periods. Now, before we talk about the sound, I just want to talk briefly about the difference between the M50, the old one, and the M50X, which is the new version. Essentially, the only thing that's changed is the materials used in the headband and the pads, and also the fact that this now has a detachable cable down here. The original one didn't have that. Obviously, detachable cables are helpful. If you do happen to damage the cable, you can always get a replacement rather than having to have the whole headphone pulled apart in order to replace that cable. The M50X, like the original M50, use a 45mm dynamic driver. It's a Mylar type plastic style driver, so there's nothing particularly special in terms of technology, but it's just beautifully tuned and it sounds great. The build quality is also really solid. It doesn't scream expensive because it's mostly still plastic and foam and fake leather, but what's great about it is that everything feels solid. It hinges in lots of different ways, so each of the cups can spin in different directions. So for those that are DJing or needing to have one ear exposed, you can very quickly and easily take it off your ear, and the headband's got enough give to allow you to do that. So both ear cups swivel in all directions. They can go all the way out, they can twist this way and that way, and they can also fold in for easy transport. So it's a very compact headphone when folded down. It's a relatively light headphone, it's sturdy, and it's really flexible in the ways that you can use it and adjust it to suit your needs, whether it's both ears on, one ear on only, etc. The headband's sturdy, even though it is plastic, it's sturdy. There's a nice solid click with the adjustments. Everything about it's just really great for a budget, relatively budget headphone, and that's why it's got the reputation it does as an excellent go-to first headphone for audiophiles or music lovers alike.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh, we don't need no more. Oh, even in the hard times.
So the ATH-M50x is very much a dynamic sounding headphone, and I mean that in terms of it's got punchy bass, it's not particularly neutral so much as fun and engaging. It's got a really interesting tuning in that it's got some enhanced bass, it's got a little bit of enhancement in the mid, so details such as acoustic guitars, electric guitars, etc. have a nice presence to them, and they do sit forward a little bit in the mix when considering that the headphone has slightly boosted bass and treble. It's almost like it's got three peaks, like a W-shaped signature if you like. So a bit of a bass lift, a little tiny bit of a mid lift, and then there's a bit of a treble lift as well around 10 kilohertz. And what that means is it has a nice sense of sparkle, a nice sense of liveliness, but at the same time it's not a bright headphone. Overall, I describe it as dynamic and engaging with a slightly forward upper mid sound that occasionally can err on a little bit dry, but overall is just really enjoyable. As part of my usual testing, I threw a whole bunch of different genres at the M50X, and it was completely fine with all of them. What I would say is it's probably not a headphone that you're going to jump to if you're a serious classical music lover. To me, it lacks the delicacy that a really good classical style headphone would want. It doesn't necessarily have that sense of air and space and delicacy, like I said, to really separate out the individual sounds of an orchestra, and particularly the string section and the more high frequency focused instruments in an orchestra. In contrast, if you want to throw R&B, hip hop, rock, blues, even acoustic music at it, the M50X can handle anything and everything in that more pop mainstream genre range. It actually makes sense to me that artists like the Foo Fighters would have used these for mastering because they just sound fun and engaging, but still easy to listen to. They don't overdo any of the emphasis. It's pitched just right. So like I said, it's not a headphone for audiophile purists. It's not a headphone for classical lovers necessarily. It's a headphone for people that love music. They want to get their first step into high quality headphones, and they're looking for something that's a great all-rounder. That's where the M50X really excels. For 150 odd US dollars, they're really hard to beat for what they provide as that first step into audio. So if you're in the market for closed headphone and you're looking at that sort of 150-ish US dollar range, I'd definitely say check out the ATH-M50X. There are a few other headphones around that are also worth considering, like the Shores that I mentioned before. The SRH540s are really good if you like a thicker, more mid-range focused sound. They probably go more in that mid-range than the M50X does. And of course, you've also got headphones like the Metzer Audio Classics and the Neos, the 99 series headphones. They're great as well, but they don't have that robust flexibility that something like the M50X has. So if you're looking for something to be able to chuck in a bag, M50X is probably better. If you don't need it to be chucked in a bag and it's going to sit on the desk, then it's more going to be about working out which sound signature you like more. The M50X is probably a little bit less bass oriented than the, say, the 99 Neos at least, that I prefer. It's probably a little bit smoother up top than the 99 Classics, which personally I think is a good thing. I found the Classics just a little bit dry and a little bit edgy at times. So there's definitely reasons you'd go for one over the other, but certainly from an all-round, robust, versatile point of view, M50X should absolutely be on the list for most starting audiophiles, or even anyone looking just for a knockabout closed headphone. So I hope you found this useful. If you're just getting into the game, Good luck with it. Enjoy the listening process. These won't be your last headphones, so don't feel like you're going to make a mistake and lock yourself into something. Almost everyone that gets into this hobby eventually turns over gear and tries new things. So if you're starting out with this as a first step, it's a great first step and will well and truly set you on your way to working out the sound signature style that you prefer for your headphones. As always, if you found this review helpful, I'd love it if you'd hit the like button and the subscribe button if you haven't already. Don't forget about the giveaway for the Topping E30 DAC. Make sure you leave a comment down below if you want to be in the running, and or become a patron for extra chances to win that Topping E30 DAC and all future giveaways for that matter. But for now, I'll sign off and say happy listening, and I'll see you here next time on Passion for Sound.